All right, let's talk about a scenario that's pretty much a modern-day nightmare. Imagine a country's entire mail system just stops, and at the absolute worst possible time of year. That's exactly what we're digging into today. The massive cyber attack on France's national postal service, La Poste.
You know, it's a question we probably never even think about, right? We count on these huge, complex systems every single day. We just assume they're going to work. But what happens when they don't? What happens when that invisible digital backbone that runs a very physical service just snaps?
Well, back in December of 2025, France found out the hard way. And I mean the hard way. We're talking about the absolute peak of the holiday rush, with millions of packages and letters zipping across the country. And the whole system gets pushed to its breaking point, not from too much mail, but from a deliberate, calculated cyber attack.
To really get the full impact of this, we have to talk about the timing. This wasn't just some random attack on a quiet Tuesday afternoon. Oh no, the people behind this, they chose their moment perfectly to cause the most chaos possible.
So think about it. Early December, it's the absolute busiest time of year for any postal service on the planet. Millions of gifts, cards, all sorts of things moving through the system. Then, bam, right in the middle of the month, crucial systems just go dark. By the time late December rolled around, this wasn't just some IT issue anymore. It was a full-blown national headache.
So what does systems went dark actually mean for people? Well, for starters, online tracking, gone. Completely offline. People were left totally in the dark about where their packages were. Then, the actual mail services got hit hard because the automated sorting systems that make everything run smoothly, they failed too. It was a digital attack, for sure, but it completely paralyzed the physical delivery network.
Right, so you're probably wondering, how does that even happen? How can a purely digital attack stop actual physical mail from moving? Well, the answer comes down to the suspected method they used.
The main culprit here is believed to be what's called a distributed denial of service attack, or DDoS for short. Now, I know, that sounds super technical, but the idea behind it is actually pretty simple. The goal isn't to break in and steal your data. It's much simpler. Just overwhelm the system with so much garbage traffic that nobody real can get in.
Here's a really simple way to picture this. Think of La Poste's website as a single-lane tunnel. On a normal day, cars, that's you and me checking our tracking numbers, can drive through just fine. But in a DDoS attack, the attackers send thousands and thousands of empty trucks, just useless junk traffic, barreling into that tunnel all at once. What happens? The tunnel gets completely jammed. And our cars, the real users, we're stuck. We can't get through.
So when you look at the threat analysis, it's pretty clear. The method? Classic network flooding. The target? Not just some random company, but a critical public service. And the pattern? This wasn't some lone wolf hacker in a basement. This was a coordinated, deliberate effort to disrupt a nation's infrastructure.
Okay, so we've got the timing down, and we understand the how. Now let's talk about the fallout, because the consequences here, they went way, way beyond a few error messages on a screen.
This is a perfect example of how that invisible world of data and servers can have a very real, very tangible impact on our physical lives. It's not just abstract ones and zeros. It's packages and letters and holiday gifts.
And the ripple effect was just huge. Obviously, you had the immediate problems, no parcel tracking, massive mail delays, all causing chaos during a really sensitive time of year. But beyond all the logistical nightmares, the attack caused something much, much harder to fix, a serious blow to La Poste's reputation.
I mean, think about it. La Poste is a centuries-old institution. Public trust was incredibly high. And then after this, it took a nosedive. When a service you depend on for something so personal, so important as holiday mail fails that spectacularly, well, that confidence just evaporates. And rebuilding that kind of trust, that can take years and a whole lot of money.
But here's the thing about a crisis like this. It's also a chance to learn. A very painful chance, for sure. But the La Poste incident gave everyone a powerful lesson in what modern security for our essential services really needs to look like.
So the big takeaway here isn't just about pointing fingers and saying, look what went wrong. It's about building a blueprint so this kind of thing doesn't happen again. And not just for a mail service, but for any essential organization.
So 3 really crucial lessons came out of this whole mess. Number 1, you have to be watching your critical systems all the time, 24/7, actively hunting for threats. Number 2, you need specific tools and plans to fight off something like a DDoS attack. A generic firewall isn't going to cut it. And finally, number 3, if something does go wrong,
Clear, honest, and constant communication with the public is absolutely essential. It's the only way to manage the chaos and hang on to some of that trust.
And all of this really leaves us with a much bigger question, doesn't it? Our daily lives, they run on all this invisible infrastructure. The power grid, our banks, the mail, all of it. The La Poste attack was a huge wake-up call, showing us just how fragile that network can be. So it really makes you stop and think, just how secure is all the stuff we rely on every single day?